Hi everyone, it's Allison from Fathom 5 Tarot, and I'm here to knock off a bunch more prompts from Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. My cat's here, one of my cats, so well, there we go. First thing, we'll see how this goes. So today I'm doing prompts 7 to 11. I will link her blog post below where she's got the prompts, and you can follow along. People are doing this on YouTube, on Instagram. It's super fun, and it's a nice distraction from all that's going on at the beginning of 2021. So, prompt number 7 is, what was your most worked with deck? I just took point form notes. I don't even actually know what the actual questions are. I couldn't get it to print off for some reason. And again, like every year, so basic. That's who I am. I think the reason this is well, there's a couple of reasons. This is my go-to deck because it's my favorite version of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Because of the coloring. I like the cardstock. I like the backs. It looks kind of aged. It's not so garish in coloring as some of the other ones. Although I do love the garish coloring of the Albano Waite. I love that one. But it's the one I carry with me in my bag. I have this like leather pouch I found at Goodwill for $1. I don't know what it was originally for, but I put my tarot cards in there. Oh, I've got 2 there. And so whenever someone's like, oh, well, do you have cards? Will you read for me? This is the one that I reach for because it's the one I have with me. And that's probably why it's my most used deck. But I also just love it. It's my home base. It's what I learned on this system. So basic girl. Okay, the next question, prompt 8, is about the top 5 decks I now have on my wish list, and I'm really trying to not have a wish list, you guys. Like, it's just, oh God, there's so many decks that I got this year. Too many. So I don't even really think I have a wish list, but if I had to put something in this category, I do think the Oak, Ash, and Thorn deck is very beautiful. I have a ton of animal decks, which is why I did not back that one on Kickstarter, and it's beautiful, though I was very tempted. So that one's probably going to continue to tempt me for a while, I would imagine. The Golden Rider Tarot to fill out my collection of groovy Rider-Waite-Smiths. I have the Hoi Polloi, and I love that 70s crazy coloring aesthetic. But we'll see. And the only one that really sticks in my craw a little bit is because I had a chance to get it and I missed it. Is I've always been kind of intrigued by the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. And this year I got the Tattoo Tarot. And so again, that tattoo aesthetic is kind of working for me. So I was like, oh, maybe this is my time. But I never really loved the mass market Schiffer Bonefire. It looks sticky. It looks so glossy. I like the shape of I saw so many YouTube videos with the indie cards, and it's just really spoiled me. Anyway, Gabby Angus West is either currently or just had a Kickstarter, and one of the things you could get was an indie version of the Bonefire, but I'd missed it. So it was so close. So now I don't know. But that's about it. Really, I'm trying to be better and not have a giant wish list. I really go in waves. I won't buy anything for ages, and then I'll just be voracious about it, which is not great. Okay, prompt 9 is about tarot goals, and I do have some concrete goals for this year. One will have to wait. I had hoped to in January. I thought things would be different a bit with not with the pandemic per se, but in terms of what I'm doing for my job, and it's going to be hard for months. So, whatever it takes, let's get this COVID-19 situation sorted. That's fine. I don't begrudge that, but I'm not going to be able to expand my client reading list. I thought maybe I would be able to put prices up publicly and invite more people in, but there's people in my life that I read for that I want to keep space for, and I do have some return clients that I need to keep space for, and I just don't have time for anything else. So that'll have to wait. But I do have 2 other goals, and they're both related to YouTube, and both things I've started. One is I'd like to continue to do weekly reads on YouTube just for the general collective. I think it's good practice. It's fun. I like it. I was so nervous to do it, and I want to keep stretching myself and keep doing it. And the other is I want to continue the one I'm most proud of is this new series. I've only got 3 videos so far, but it's the what I have learned from, and then look at one of the tarot decks in my collection and talk about what I've learned from it, from having it, as a way of like reinvigorating my interest in my own collection as opposed to looking outwards and not trying to consume less. Um, and people have been really nice and said they really like them. So I do want to continue to do those on a semi-regular basis. So you can find those. There's a playlist on my channel if you're interested in any of those. But I would like to keep that up in a, again, semi-regular way. If I put myself to like a weekly thing, I'll never do. I'd want to do that for readings because that's shorter. But I want to make sure it's something I enjoy and not something that becomes a chore. Prompt 10 is a great one, and I really gave this a lot of thought. And I don't know that I've quite hit on exactly what I'm trying to say, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It's about what if you could create a 79th tarot card, what would it be? Like, what would the thing be? And my problem is I can't really come up with a title for it or an archetype per se. Like, would it be a major arcana or a minor arcana card? And if it were a minor arcana card, I think it would be a wand, but I feel like it sort of should be a major arcana card too. But the overall theme that I think is not, of course you can get anything from by spreading out tarot cards and looking at them together in the combination and applying it to your own life and blah, blah, blah. But from my 2020 feelings, my feelings in my own life right this minute, I feel like I need a card about something about restlessness. Like I feel super restless. I think that is manifested in some positive ways. Like I branched out and tried readings on my YouTube channel and stuff, but it's the pandemic, right? Like I just feel super hemmed in and I just, and not just physically, just in many ways, I feel restless. Maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm in middle age and maybe that's what this is. Who knows? And so it's not the opposite of the Hanged Man per se, I don't think, although the Hanged Man is sort of being at a standstill. It's about wanting to branch out. But it's different than the 2 or the 3 of the Wands, where I feel like that's about like possibilities and planning. It's not like the 8 of Wands where they're all like shooting in a direction. Like I feel like I need a Wands cards where all the wands are like firing in different directions and yet constrained by something. I don't know. That's just a feeling I've been living with for the last few months, and yeah, I could use that card. So I don't know. I'm super interested in the comments to hear about what people think about that idea or your own ideas about your own cards. And that's such an excited feeling to go and look for that prompt and see what people say. And finally, prompt 11 is decks I want to work with more in 2021. And this is an exciting one because I love the prompts where I get to talk about my decks and touch my decks and show them off. So there's a lot, actually. The first is the Anna K Tarot, which is a real success story because it just means that I accomplished what I wanted to with my Everything I Learned from Insert Deck Here series. And that I wanted to reinvigorate my own appreciation of decks that I already have and help other people decide A, whether or not they wanted those decks, but B, just apply that learning to their decks. And it was such a good reminder. It was the first video I did in that series. It just of what a banger this deck is. It's so good. And I hadn't really used it in 2020. So I do want to use it more in 2021. This happens to be the indie edition, which I like better. A lot of people like the mass market better, and it's easy to get. The indie's not expensive as indies go, especially if you're in Europe. I think she charges like €8 for shipping or something amazing. So anyway, it's a great deck, the Anna K, and I definitely want to use that more this year. I'd also like to use my Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wild, just because this is don't even need to talk. Look at it. It's been a deck that was on my most used list a few years ago. Probably last year's videos, I was talking about how much I use this deck, I would guess. It's one of those things where I can't now. I feel like I've had it for 3 years, but I probably had it for 5. But it was such a, it really clicks with me, and I got distracted by newer decks, as happens to all of us, and I'd like to bring this one back into the rotation because it's so good. I love it. Oops. There we go. Naked Heart. Okay, what else do I want to use? I referenced this briefly in my first video, but I thought it was worth talking about again. I want to use the Spacious Tarot more this year because I think it's beautiful. And just when the pandemic started, I sort of wasn't in the mood because I was so isolated already. Like, I just wanted to see people in my cards. But I was so excited to get it, and the timing was so unfortunate. Oh, isn't that such a beauty? Because it is so beautiful. I love it so much. And I'm kind of over that isolation feeling. I just that, not that I'm not isolated. I am. I love that Judgment card so much. It's such a beauty. I just know how to cope with it better. I think I've just gotten used to it. I like Zooming with people all the time, and it's fine now. I can use this deck, I think. So I really want to use that one. Well, yeah, I guess I'll put this on. The only reason I haven't used this one is because it was so new to me in 2020. But I'm pretty excited to get into the Hush Tarot. I think this will probably be more of a fall winter deck for me. I'm not really in the mood to use it now that I've gotten it. I think just because of the colors, and there's like a dark groovy edge to it, which I really like, but we'll see. This has been a big week. Things might be dark enough. But I do think it's incredibly beautiful. I think I'll get a lot out of it. Like, look at that Magician. So cool. So I am looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to use it right away. And finally, I don't know what prompted me to pull this bad boy out the other day. It's been ages, but I just love it. It's the Morgan Greer. Why haven't I been using this all the time? I just love, it just feels like such a classic. I love the colors. I love the borderless. It's so faithful to Smith Waite. It might as well be a Smith Waite, really. When I first got it, I got it secondhand at a Goodwill, and I actually had some trouble with it because it's much more up close and facey than the Smith Waite, and so I found that more difficult to glean things from. That's a great example of a more up close and facey one, but it says the same things. I don't know why. I think maybe it was partly the quartz. I needed more quartz context, for example. Oh, I love the Tower card. But it's just, it's so good. It's such a great little workhorse, and I didn't use it at all, I don't think, in 2020. So I'm going to bring that little friend back into my life. And I think that's all I'm going to talk about for now. So I know that was quick, but we're all busy, and I want to go and watch some other videos while I have a little bit of time today. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to coming back and doing some more prompts and watching all of your videos. Have an awesome day.